Bear down, Chicago Bears. So we've got a toxic situation that was allegedly happening uh, involving Justin Fields, Nick Foles, and Andy Dalton. If you remember, Andy Dalton had been hired and brought in as the quarterback to be Nick Foles was his backup, and that was before they drafted Justin Fields back in 2021. And now we're getting reports that are saying that Justin Fields did not engage with them, that he was toxic in the locker room, and it belies some of the reporting that came out about the feelings that people had for Justin Fields in the locker room currently. So we're going to dig into that. Plus, the Chicago Bears now have they're putting out some images. This is picture week for the Chicago Bears. So you're going to be seeing you're going to see Roma Dunze in full gear. You're going to see Caleb Williams in full gear. You're going to start to see Austin Booker, the Torrey Taylor, all of the draft picks. You're going to see them in their Bears uniforms on the Chicago Bears website this week. So let's kick this off, and we're going to start off with the toxicity. Now, it is being reported that new details have emerged on the toxic conflict between ex-Bears quarterback Justin Fields and Nick Foles. And there's a lot of information coming out about Justin Fields over the last couple of days, negative about his time with the Chicago Bears. Quarterback Justin Fields spent his first 3 seasons with the Chicago Bears, and according to a lengthy and detailed expose from journalist Tyler Dunn, his Windy City tenure was rocky from the get-go. Then head coach Matt Nagy had an aim for Justin Fields, and it was to sit behind Dalton for a year, but that changed early on when an injury to Dalton essentially pushed Fields into his first career start in week 3. According to Dunn, a former Milwaukee journalist and Buffalo News reporter who now is in Substack's Go Long, Fields didn't mesh well with the two veteran quarterbacks at all that year and had particular friction with Foles. Per Dunn, the environment of the Bears room was effing toxic as hell. Dunn detailed how some eyebrow-raising moments involving Fields specifically. During the team's 2021 campaign, he started 10 games and appeared in 12, completing 58.9% of his passes for 1,870 yards and throwing 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions while rushing for 420 yards and 2 touchdowns. He struggled frequently through his rookie year, although he did show flashes of potential on offense that gave him very few playmakers. Sources close to the team that year told Dunn that while Dalton and Foles were amenable to mentoring Fields, the young quarterback had no interest in being mentored by these guys. They never were together. It was always Andy and Nick walking side by side, and Justin Fields was always 15 yards behind them. There were several arguments amongst the quarterbacks. Once, per a source, Foles was trying to reach something to Fields in the quarterback room, and upon turning towards the rookie, Foles realized Fields wasn't even paying attention. His head was down. At that point, Foles was done trying to play mentor. The two could not stand one another, it is reported. This was the first time someone once connected to the team had made mention of Fields' friction with Foles. Former Bears director of player personnel Josh Lucas told the Windy City Gridiron's Bill Simmons in February that Fields did not mesh well with either Andy Dalton or Nick Foles, which likely explains why neither vet stuck around for very long. Both Foles and Dalton left Chicago after 21. The Bears brought in a new regime led by Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus. After 2 years of playing under Poles and Eberflus in 2022 and 2023, the Bears traded away Justin Fields. One source plugged that into the Bears locker room says that the widely held narrative that Fields was a strong leader was inflating, citing the quarterback as a surface-level dude who didn't develop authentic relationships with teammates. He called reports of his teammates' love for Field bullshit, adding that the quarterback carried himself with an undeserved aura and lacked emotional intelligence for someone who's been quarterback for so long. The Bears are hoping this streak of bad quarterback luck ends with Caleb Williams, who had this to say on May 10th. To be a great leader, you got to learn to follow first. So right now, I'm following all the vets. I'm following all the coaches. I'm listening, having both ears open and my mouth shut. So that led to that led to another report that came out on Justin Fields that a Bears coach, an unnamed Bears coach, has said that Justin Fields was really hard to watch on the field. One of the quarterbacks, what he says was, one Chicago coach says, watch his eyes. He tries to see the whole thing and doesn't actually see anything. His eyes are all over the place, and it's just really hard to watch. It was just bad football. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement, but it's not surprising either. Fields flashed greatness in his highlights, but the Bears struggled to put him in position for him to be successful unless he was relying on his athleticism. So, that being the case, we are now done, or at least we are closing the chapter on the Justin Fields thing, if you will. So, turns out there was a lot of toxicity in Chicago when it came down to Justin Fields that we did not know about, that we weren't aware of, that was lightly mentioned briefly by Josh Lucas, uh, and it was earlier this year. And now we've got confirmation, or at least we've got alleged confirmation from another source that this was a very toxic sort of scenario. So now let's move on from potentially toxic Justin Fields, which look, I don't think we don't have any reason to disagree with the reporting because now we've got two sources that are saying it. But I mean, DJ Moore was pretty adamant that he really liked Justin Fields. He was pretty adamant that he thought that Justin Fields was great. And I think, there are a lot of teammates who were real big fans of Justin Fields. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that those teammates have really embraced Caleb Williams, it appears so far. So, I don't know whether this is true or not, but it is being reported widely right now. Is it an attack on Justin Fields? Yes. Is it an attack on the Chicago Bears? So we're going to move on from that, and we're going to go to the real attack on the Chicago Bears, which is there are 5 players who are already in trouble with this improved roster. So, while the Chicago Bears did not receive priority on defense, they did pick up Austin Booker. However, these are the 5 players that it is said might be released very, very soon in favor of some other options because of the level of competition that we now have on the team. And number 1 is Travis Homer. As you can see right here, the first move Poles made in free agency was a surprise. He signed running back DeAndre Swift, and that's a pretty solid running back combo with Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson. However, that means that Travis Homer, his main job was going to be as a return specialist. However, he ended up competing with Velus Jones, who continued to be that guy. And now you have 2 more people that can do punt returning. So that means that maybe, just maybe, Travis Homer might be released at some point coming up very soon. Also, potentially on the cut, Dominique Robinson. He was selected in the 5th round of the 2022 draft. He was a converted wide receiver who had athleticism and quickness, but he has not progressed at all. And now that we have a bit of a better roster with Demarcus Walker hopefully having a good season this year, and Austin Booker potentially becoming that guy we've been looking at all this time as potentially guys, look, we looked at him yesterday, and Austin Booker looked like a man among boys when you saw him on the field with surrounded by everybody else. I think he's probably going to be pretty big enough for this. So now we've got the potential, by the way, which still exists, of Yannick Ngakoue, or what's his name, Ogba. Ogba might be available, and Ogba, I think, had something like 11 sacks last year, so and might be coming available. So there's some potential here for a big pickup by the Bears, which makes Dominique Robinson an expendable resource. And both of these, Travis Homer and Dominique Robinson, are pretty inexpensive, so it's not freeing up too much cap space. And then the third guy on this list of, oh shit, they may be gone pretty soon, is Brett Ripien, who just got here. Poles signed Brett Ripien to help at quarterback. Ripien is familiar with the offensive coordinator Shane Waldron's system, so he can help Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent, but there is nothing to offer beyond that. Bagent was a surprise for the Chicago Bears last season. He was an undrafted rookie who ended up winning the QB2 job. He got to start 4 games. He went 2-2, did just enough to keep teams interested. The problem is that he needs to be depended on for an extended period of time. He's going to struggle, as we saw last season. As he played more, he started to struggle. Chicago Bears are in a position to compete for the division title. If something happens to Williams, they need someone who can come in and step up. With that in mind, the Poles could still look to add another veteran quarterback. Joe Flacco took over the offense for the Cleveland Browns and led them to the playoffs last year. Ryan Tannehill is still sitting out there. So there are quarterbacks that are available that are probably a little better equipped for getting to the playoffs than Ripien, just in case something happens to Caleb Williams. So it could be that Brett Ripien gets signed and then is released very, very quickly. Also, on the potential cut, and I don't like this one because I think that he's going to continue to develop, but Braxton Jones is going to make the roster. He's been a decent offensive lineman. However, the Bears don't need decent players anymore. They need people who make plays. Ryan Poles drafted Kiran Emagaji to help with the offensive line. But for the moment, if Kiran comes in and starts to play very well as a backup for Braxton Jones, he could be pushing Braxton Jones out of the lineup very, very quickly. If he shows that he can handle the starting left tackle job already, then the Chicago Bears are not going to stop from giving him the job right away, and that leaves Braxton Jones as the man out. So the Bears gave him a fair shot at winning the job before training camp, and he beat out Tevin Jenkins. However, Tevin Jenkins shifted inside and has done a pretty good job so far. Third-round pick Emagaji has the size, athleticism to handle the job, but you also have Matt Pryor on the roster. You've now got a little bit of depth in this position, which could make Braxton Jones expendable. It is my opinion that Braxton Jones is probably going to have a much better season this season than he had last season. So it very well could be that he's going to make it after all. But here's the thing. He has value in the trade market. And Gilbert Lloyd says Braxton Jones at worst will be a swing tackle. He's not getting cut. And that is potential as well. The problem with that is payroll, salary cap. We have about $7 million going into this season. We're going to have to make some cuts. There will be somebody that we don't expect to be cut getting cut. And Braxton Jones, I think, probably, along with a few other ones, could be on that cut. So the next one up, this one's surprising. Tevin Jenkins. This is certainly a controversial selection. Jenkins has played well when he was on the field. He cannot seem to stay on the field, however. The problem is, since the Bears drafted him in 2021, he's missed a total of 20 games. He left a few more games after he had started those games. It does not matter how great Jenkins plays. If he spends too much time on the injured reserve and not enough time on the field, then he is not helping the team. Again, the prevailing theme of the Chicago Bears is playoffs or bust. They need players they can depend on to play and contribute. Poles traded for Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton. Shelton appeared to be the starting center while Bates was playing center. He lost the starting center job 2 seasons ago. He was playing guard since. If Jenkins has to deal with injuries again, Bates is a good enough option to step in his place. So Coleman Shelton would then be the center. And it's about consistency, and it's about getting this guy. That is correct, by the way. And at $3 million, Larry Borum, I think that he's trade bait. I don't understand why we're looking at Tevin Jenkins in this, but I'm going to listen to it and say that, I could be surprised somewhere. I think Larry Borum is the weak link in that room. However, I'm not the coach. They seem to think that he's got some kind of opportunity here to make plays. So if Tevin Jenkins, by the way, can't get healthy, it can't create the consistency that we need on the offensive line. And if that's the case, then Ryan Bates, Coleman Shelton, if they're tough enough to be there for every down, then they become expendable. I mean, we like Tevin Jenkins. We love Tevin Jenkins. We think he does a great job, but he's not there enough to solidify that offensive line. If he's not there long enough to solidify the offensive line, then it's time to move on and find somebody who will. So, maybe, just maybe, this is one of those inevitable cuts that are coming. Yeah, he's by far, and look, I shouldn't say by far, because that belies the fact that, look, Larry Borom works hard. He's just not as good as we want him to be. So, we'll see how this plays out. Now, next up, Freddy Swain. So a team's job is never done. Shane Waldron is looking at Freddy Swain right now. Tyler Scott remains an unknown. We hope that he's going to get better, and we hope that he's the wide receiver 4. Velas Jones is a kick returner. Dante Pettis and Lasimba Webster are fringe special teams guy. That doesn't give you much depth when it comes down to wide receiver, and we need a wide receiver 5 right now. And Freddy Swain was, by the way, if you guys were paying attention, Freddy Swain was on the roster at the rookie minicamp. So he's appeared in 37 NFL games with 10 starts. And he's caught 42 passes, 576 yards, 6 touchdowns. He was selected by Seattle in the 6th round of the 2020 draft. There's an opportunity. We talked about Freddy Swain yesterday. There's an opportunity for Freddy Swain to get on the field as wide receiver 5 for the Chicago Bears. It isn't entirely clear why Chicago moved on from him after he had a really nice run to start off with, but most of the blame goes to the team that made room for second-round pick D. Eskridge, rookie Derek Young, and veteran Marquise Goodwin. So Swain bounced between Denver and Miami between 2022 and 2023. So it isn't a surprise that he came to Chicago for a tryout. Now, if he makes the roster and if he's on the team, then we'll see whether or not this guy represents a good option at the wide receiver 5 spot. And we're gonna need some depth. So let's get into Twitter X and let's see what we got here. Justin Fields, by the way, punt returner. That is wild. It is getting incredible. The stuff that's coming out right now is just unbelievable. So let's talk about a few things, though. There's a confidence and assuredness in the Chicago Bears building that hasn't been felt, and I would encourage you to go to the NFL Network and watch this. Stacey Dales joined Rhett NFL. That's Rhett Lewis, to talk about first impressions from Caleb Williams at the Chicago Bears rookie minicamp. Certainly exciting times for the Chicago Bears, for Caleb Williams and whatever comes next. Now, 79 days until Caleb Williams makes his Chicago Bears debut. Guys, 79 days. And in 79 days, Caleb Williams will take over the Chicago Bears, and he will lead them to a 13-4 record. The playoffs, everybody here is going to be like, I can't believe this son of a bitch Bleeves was actually right about that. By the way, the Bleeves sign, dead, fucking dead. It's as dead as Mitchell Trubisky's career. You know what I mean? So 79 days, and we will see what we will see, and by the way, EV Warrior says, Fields fan talks a lot of shit. They need to eat cake now rather than pivoting to Caleb with a clean slate. We have receipts. And look, I'm a supporter of Justin Fields. That doesn't mean, look, there's going to be your side, my side, and probably the truth when it all comes out. And perhaps Nick Foles just an asshole. It might not be, it might not be that Justin Fields was the actual problem. We know he's a problem on the field. We understand. And I also say that I think he's still going to have a decent career in the NFL. Was he as good as trading up in the 11th pick and all that kind of stuff? Clearly not. I mean, clearly not. However, we still haven't seen the product on the field in Caleb Williams yet. So maybe, just maybe, we're not better. And if we're not, then everybody else is going to have some explaining to do as well. So we have to take a moment and we have to see, how this plays out. But it's pretty funny. There we go. I'm going full meatball too. That's exactly what I'm saying. Go full fucking meatball right now. 13-4, and we're going to end up winning the NFC North. We're going into the playoff. And by the way, I predicted that, saying that we were definitely going to lose to San Francisco. We were definitely going to lose to Green Bay twice. And then, God damn it, I can't remember who the last team was. we actually had a schedule out here. So all right. So the schedule was, yeah, here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't make it difficult, you assholes. Come on now. There we go. Close enough. All right. So, you motherfuckers. So I said that I think we're going to lose to Green Bay, of course, probably twice. You take that out and say that we probably, if we win, I'm going to feel good about it. The other team, San Francisco, and the other team was the Rams. I can't say. Remember, we took on the Rams, and I don't know that we're going to be able to beat them. But everybody else on this, I mean, guys, look who we got at home. Detroit Lions should be able to beat the Detroit Lions. Should be able to beat Minnesota twice, and their rookie quarterback. So we should be able to win those. We should be able to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me a break. Tennessee Titans, of course. The Patriots, duh. The Panthers, of course. Seahawks, yes. Arizona Cardinals, come on, bro. Houston, Texas, that might be a struggle. So let's put a pin in that one. The Colts, of course. Washington, of course. We have one of the most favorable schedules in the NFL. So if there's ever a year where the Chicago Bears completely overachieve and look like champions, this is it right here. I mean, this is I don't think that's true. I don't even think that's true. I think that I think that Green Bay remains the most difficult thing that we have on our schedule. So, you know what I mean? So I think that Green Bay represents a couple of L's, San Francisco and LA. And then other than that, I mean, Jesus Christ, we could win 13 games. You know what I mean? So, let's see what happens. Being a grown-up, so as a host, depending on subscribers to succeed, shouldn't he be a grown-up and apologize for handling a situation like a kid, making fun of people who disagree? Hell no. That's engagement. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And if you don't like it, then you don't watch. You know what I mean? Like it's fair. Like I would agree with that. Like there's no reason to be upset with that. So anyway, 79 days for Caleb Williams. Also, throw them the ball and they will catch it. So Rashee Rice was unstoppable last year. Adam Thielen made the top tier hands. These are the most reliable top 10 receivers with a minimum of 75 catches with the best catch percentage. And that is Keenan Allen in the top 10, coming in at number 7, and then DJ Moore coming in at number 10. So we have 2 of the top 10 receivers coming into this season. So I would say, and I would think that we've probably got a pretty good shot at being a really good passing team this year. So it'll take some, it'll take some figuring out, and we'll figure it out as we go. But awesome. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And Chicago Bears OTAs, here's the schedule for it. Voluntary minicamp right now is going to be May 21, 2021, 23, May 28, 29, and 31. And then the mandatory minicamp is going to be June 4, 5, and 6. So, boom. And J69, I think that I don't think Houston represents as big a task as the Rams represent, but that could be. I mean, I would take a swap either way. And I think that the Bears are better and more equipped to deal with these teams to begin with than they were last year. I don't think things are going to get out of control. You know what I mean? I don't think people are going to like really start tripping. You know what I mean? Also, this was the comment that came out. This is a guy that we don't know, but it's now trending on Twitter as well. Chicago Bears coach on Justin Fields. When you watch him, watch his eyes. He tries to see the whole thing and doesn't see anything. His eyes are all over the place, and it's just really hard to watch. It's just bad football. Now, that could be that could be the case. I mean, we saw the product on the field, right? Like we know that no matter how good or bad Luke Getsy was, we know that Justin Fields was not doing what he needed to do to make this team successful as well. We can always say that it's around or because of we could say it's because of the coaching. We could say it's because of the lack of talent, but there's a lot of people with a lot of lack of talent that, So anyway, that closes the book, I think, on Justin Fields. Now, let's get into it because we got photo shoots coming out right now. And this is the first one. Khalil Herbert was the first one brought in. And so we've got we've got the photos of Khalil Herbert that we're rocking so far today. This is the week right now. We got Tevin Jenkins out here doing his poses. Chicago Bears are on photo week right now. We've got Jatire Carter out here vibing, if you will. This is what these guys are doing right now for picture day. So very soon, today probably or tomorrow, we're going to get pictures of some of these rookies that we're looking for. And then here is the year 2 guys. We got that is Tyreek Stevenson. We got Darnell Wright. And I like that one, by the way. That Darnell Wright picture is kind of cool. And then we have Zach Pickens. I don't know where Gervon Dexter is, but I assume that he's going to have his own devoted one. And then finally for the day, we've got bookends. We've got Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright getting a second picture all of the sudden. So, you know what I mean? Chicago Bears, by the way, if you're not following them, it's at Chicago Bears, and they're popping out pictures for the next couple of days. So you guys want to go check them out, then you can certainly go check them out. And as far as the schedule goes, look, I think that the Chicago Bears have an opportunity. Let's look at it one more time because, we'll look at it a more colorful and pretty one. The Rams represent a problem. The Packers represent a problem. And look, I don't think Detroit is a problem. I've just, and look, no offense to anybody who's a Detroit fan. Fuck you. I don't care. But I don't think that Detroit represents a problem. I think that we let them win in the last game, that we came apart when it mattered. And that was a young team trying to work through some stuff. And I don't think that happens again. I don't think that we experience that. You know what I mean? So, I feel like the Rams, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Green Bay Packers represent problems. And I think that after that, and maybe we split with the Green Bay Packers. In fact, we could end up being a much better team and really start to set the world on fire. Remembering that there's going to be some growing pains with Caleb Williams. So, if there's growing pains, it might be Green Bay. But look, the team says there's a different vibe, that there's a different something about this situation, that people are feeling really good in the ready for this season. That they are ready for this season in a way that we have not seen in a very long time. So I think, again, like this is pretty simple to me. Win, 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 win. So there's 5 maybes right there. If we pull one of those out, that's a 13-4 season. If we just do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it, then look, I think this team has an opportunity, has a real opportunity to have a good run. Demond Dice says 11-6. I'm saying 13-4. But I mean, again, like Demond is probably closer. Mine is pie in the sky. Mine is wish list, right? 11-6 is probably more appropriate. We're gonna lose games we shouldn't lose. Like, I don't think that we've turned that corner yet. I am wishful in my thinking that we have turned that corner. Now, I think there's going to be a point to prove with CJ Stroud. So I think that the Bears are going to be ready for that one to prove that we got the better quarterback. I think that the people would be, I think we would be better served right there. We got EV Warrior. Thanks for addressing, not shying away from the news. At least keep doing what you. I appreciate it, EV Warrior. And look, we're not always going to agree on everything. We're not always going to. We're not always gonna like the result here. I mean, look, I supported Justin Fields because I want the Bears to be in the playoffs. And I think that Justin Fields gave them a better opportunity to get into the playoffs going into this year than Caleb Williams. But I don't have a choice now. I have to be supportive and put a positive spin on Caleb Williams because either I'm supporting my team or I'm not supporting my team. So and if you are supporting, if you're telling me that I should be, I should like Justin Fields more than I do, or that I shouldn't support Caleb Williams the way that I support Caleb Williams or any of that. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the Chicago Bears. And I've said it over and over and over again. I'm a Chicago Bears fan before Caleb Williams or Justin Fields. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I want the Chicago Bears to be in the Super Bowl every year. I want that Tom Brady run. I want 7 Super Bowls. Did he have 7 Super Bowl or 14? Did he win like 14 Super Bowls? Something like that. I mean, obviously Taylor Swift is the undefeated Super Bowl champion this year. But before that, it was Tom Brady, I want to say. So, and by the way, if you didn't see the roast of Tom Brady, you should watch the roast of Tom Brady because it was a roast of Tom Brady. That's good enough for me. But I'm a fan of the Chicago Bears. I don't give a shit who the quarterback is. If Brett Ripien's the quarterback and we go 13-4, cool. If Tyson Bagent's the quarterback and we go 13-4, cool. If Caleb Williams is, cool. If Justin Fields, if Caleb Williams breaks both of his kneecaps and Tyson Bagent breaks both of his kneecaps and we trade back for Justin Fields, 13-4. Like, I don't give a shit who the quarterback is. I care that it's the Chicago Bears and that they're winning. That's what matters to me. So, and you can dress that up. You can dress that up however you want. But when you're done dressing it up, take the clothes back off, stuff it in your pipe, and smoke that, bro. This is all about the Chicago Bears. So, and so, guys, that's my time, by the way. I got to get going. It is gym time. It's time to get that swole on. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Just sweep Green Bay and let's win a playoff game next year. That would be considered a good year to me. You know, splitting with Green Bay to me would end up being a good one. That to me feels like we would have accomplished. And again, if you just win the games that are winnable, I mean, look at these games right here. They are winnable. The Seahawks, the Panthers, like, I see very simple 12 wins right there. Now, again, we probably lose one. We'll probably lose one we're not supposed to. So that's 11 wins. So when Damon Dice says, 11-6, that's probably more realistic than mine, right? But I think that we've done. And guys, I'm going to tell you something that's going to piss some of you off just because you like being pissed off because I say shit that you don't like, right? And I'm going to say this. Demarcus Walker is going to have a much better season than what anybody is seeing so far. Now, I don't know that that's going to be true. I'm manifesting that, but I feel like he is real happy right now. I feel like he is real focused right now. And again, if you've been watching him on Twitter and social media, he is ready for this season. And look, at the end of this is the best pass rushing defense in all of football. How much better they get from being the number 25 passing defense is what's going to really matter. So the number 1 rushing defense, number 25 passing defense, if they become a top 15 passing defense and they continue to maintain at least a top 5 rushing defense presence, how good does this team become? That's a top 5, that's top 10 team at that point, right? And the more they pile on the plate, the better they get, the better this all starts to work out, then the better this team is overall. And if you can get me an edge rusher like an Austin Booker, who's maybe not ready, but he'll be, if you give him where he's fresh and you give him an opportunity on obvious passing plays to get in there and see what he can do, rounding the edge and getting to the quarterback, good. Demarcus Walker is a tough man to run against. And if he can just get a little pass rush going, I mean, guy's 4.5 sacks a year, maybe 5 sacks a year. That's not going to be horrible. Is it going to be great? No. But if Gervon Dexter is a good replacement for Justin Jones at the 3 technique spot, then guess what? This team really becomes a whole lot better. And then all we got to do is make sure that Jack Sanborn is a little bit better. Tremaine Edmonds a little bit better. TJ Edwards just a little bit better. And as long as they're ball hawks right now and they're pushing and they're helping and aiding the line, and we've got a good scheme and we run some blitzes on people and stop trying to let just 4 people do it. You know what I mean? Like, run some goddamn blitzes on people. And then, that's it right here. And I want Yannick back. I want Yannick. And by the way, I want Yannick back on the team for the same reason that I wanted Justin Fields to run it back, because I thought that it would make because I think that he's got that, like, I didn't do this right. I got to get this shit together. I think Yannick Ngakoue is absolutely furious that he didn't have 8.5, 9 sacks, whatever it was. And I think that he was starting to round into form, by the way. Maybe I'm looking at it differently. Maybe I'm always rose-colored glasses, but I felt like Yannick Ngakoue was coming along and had his best game in the game that he got injured. Like, I think he was turning that corner, and I think that the addition of Montez Sweat had actually changed this defense into a better defense than what we ended up being, which was the number one scoring defense in the last 6 games of the season. I think that we were actually a better team than that, but Yannick Ngakoue was injured. And Yannick was the guy that was going to get after the quarterback, and he was the guy that was going to make people's lives miserable a little more than Demarcus Walker. Demarcus Walker got pressed into the role, and I think that that's I think that we're almost there, and I would like to see him back because again, same thing with Justin. Just want to run it back and make sure that it happens and that it looks fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Anyway, and this could be incredible. Tory Taylor pinning people back, just pinning people back, making it very difficult. Like this team just feels a little bit better in every single spot. You know what I mean? So you're predicting the Bears to improve dramatically, but not other teams in our division. Fuck other teams in this division. The Lions were a field goal away from the Super Bowl, but we're all of a sudden better. Okay. All right, let's do it. Holy shit. All right, Larry the Chucklehead, it's on you, man. Explain 28-13. Go ahead and explain it. And this is with Justin Fields. This was not with a good quarterback or with a good wide receiver core. And if you're here to tell me that suddenly this 28-13, this dominance, and by the way, it's not just this dominance right here. Let's go back one and let's go back over here to what happened originally. And look, Jared Goff sucked then too, because what happened was the end of this game, the wheels fell off. And that's fair enough to say, you know what? The wheels fell off in the last couple of minutes and we had touchdown, safety because the defense missed a step, right? It's safe to say that they got their shit together at the right time. But look, this right here sucked. This right here, yeah, it was Justin Fields. So both of these were easy wins that one of them turned into a loss. So if you're telling me that that didn't exist, quit smoking whatever is legal in Illinois, dude, because it is messing with your brain. The Chicago Bears are going to dominate the Detroit Lions this season. I'm telling you right now. And it doesn't matter if they kick a field goal and they're in the Super Bowl. They couldn't beat the Chicago Bears. They went 28-13. So there you go. And by the way, Delusional Larry here says, but we're all of a sudden better. It doesn't matter. We match up. We're going to win against them. So are we better than them? We were better than them last year. Yeah, we fell apart at the end of the first game. But we came back in the second game and absolutely dominated and annihilated them. And we didn't let that shit happen again. So are we a better team than them? Maybe not, but we're a better team head to head than they are. Are we a better team than Green Bay? Nope. Green Bay might end up 9-8 this year, and we might end up 11-6 or 13-4, and we might still lose to Green Bay. There's a difference between matchups and being better. So you should read a book, and it would be a book with the word football in it. And if you don't know how to spell football, just ask somebody in chat. Anyway, that's my time, you guys. You guys have a good day. I don't mean to pick on this guy, but easy target. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Until then, bear the fuck.